Which store in Japan is better to buy figures from, a dedicated 6-story toy store, or your average thrift store? From Transformers, tokusatsu, anime, pop culture, and the weirdest items I've seen. Like seriously, what the hell? So our first store is called Yamashiroya, and as said earlier, it is 6 stories tall. So let's see if this store is any good, and after we go to this one, we'll check out a really cool thrift store. So as we cross the street and head into the store, I love the Kamen Rider banner. As we enter the first floor, we'll be greeted with various items. And in this corner, we have a lot of Beyblades with the stadiums and the Beyblades themselves. For me, the second floor looks interesting, as well as the 5th floor, and maybe the basement. So let's head up to this next floor. We have some Deadpool and Spider-Man up there. On this side, Harry Potter's. There seems to be a lot of Western stuff on this floor, but I don't care about all that. What I care about are the Transformers. Let's take a quick look at these. And I'll be honest, this song goes way too hard. I can't play much of it though. So let's take a quick look. These are Japanese releases of figures that have Western releases besides the Bingo Sports Prime, some of the core class figures, Transformers 1 Studio Series Megatron. Just a reminder, this footage once again is filmed all the way back in March, so a lot of these figures have already been out for a while. I'm just late in making these videos because I'm too silly. Now here's that missing link Optimus, which I finally did get from Kauki's Toy for free. Shout out to them. We have the MPG Genrai as well as some other MPG figures. There's the Japanese exclusive dramatic capture set. I can't exactly make out what this is. This is so funny, he's singing. Okay, back to the rest of the figures. There's a lot over here, but once again, it's all stuff that you guys have already probably seen. I'm sorry for making this video late, but it does give you an idea for if you did came to this store now or in the future, exactly what type of figures they'll hold. These were all fairly new at the time around March. I mean, this has been out for a while. And there's the vehicle mode for the Bingo Sports Optimus. There's actually the 3-0 Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, but it appears to be sold out, and some more MPG figures. Taking a look here, these appear to be some of the cheaper figures, and some nostalgic nerdy shirts over here with Transformers. Kind of regret not buying some of these. I mainly wear alt-wear, so it's not something I would technically wear. Now to the right, there's a lot of Ninja Turtles, so if you are into Ninja Turtles, this store is probably a great place for you to go. That Soundwave shirt's really cool. But like I said, quite a bit of Western stuff that you'll probably find in the US. These are the Bandai Namco figures, and we'll see some model kits. And as we walk down this way, we'll pass some of the anime items. Now let's head up a floor. Now here on the 3rd floor, there are a various amount of items, but nothing here really interested me. It's not niche and nerdy enough. Let's go up to the next floor. And on this floor, we're greeted with some model cars, and up here, some planes. A lot of the items here do cater towards kids because it is literally a toy store, but there are items here for adult collectors as well. And we'll be seeing more of that in a second here. And here we have some transforming figures that are not Transformers, and they look very, very cool. Here's a closer look at all of them in the display cabinets. I really like these. Maybe when I go back to Japan, I'll try to buy some of these. Okay, on the collector side of things, we have some figure arts. This side, we got more Ultraman. There's a lot of Ultraman here. And in this corner, we have Kamen Rider and a few Sentai items. I've seen these around a few times, so it doesn't really grab my attention here that much. But we have a lot of the roleplay items and the belts, around 50 USD. These are like reissues of the deluxe belts, so that is a pretty good price. I own all the original deluxe versions of these besides Mach. On this side, a lot of these soft vinyl figures. I'm not really into these. And here are the more collector items if you want your wallet to cry a little bit more. And these statues look absolutely amazing. These are expensive, and bringing them home would be a pain in the ass. Like, look at this with Ichigo on the motorcycle. That looks amazing. And this drive one really captures my attention. Also, take a look at this elevator. We're actually going to go up a floor. 5th floor. It's so much cooler in the elevator than it is in the rest of the building. I don't know why it's very hot. We still have one more store to go to, but before we get to that, let's see what else there is. Huge fan of Cyberpunk, a lot of shirts, and as we slowly go up, this seems to be way more expensive here than it is in the US. In this cabinet, some more collector's items. We have a pop-up display Summon Skull from Yu-Gi-Oh! With some more characters next to it, and some Street Fighter. Now this is pretty cool. These are cassette cases that look like video game cartridges. Yeah, this cabinet seems to have a lot of video game items. Some interesting metal keychains, but behind all that, if you're into Godzilla, I think you might really like what this store has to offer. A lot of very impressive stuff on display. But let's head over to this side where we're going to find Gunpla. So we got the classics to the left, looks like some figures at the top, some more kits on display, and behind me we have the kits in boxes, some more model kits up here as well as some Idol Girl model kits. On this side, there's some more mecha items from Good Smile Company, some collector coins. If we zoom in here, we'll see some Gundam ones. That's very cool. This all looks like Nike stuff. Yeah, definitely. I assume this is the Gooner section. So Yamashiroya is what it is, a toy store, mainly meant for children, but they do have things for adult collectors. But now we're gonna head over to this hobby off hard off combo. This is our second store, and I think we'll find a lot of good items here. On the first floor, they do have a lot of video game related items. This is Mario Paint. There are so many video game accessories in this store. And as we turn around, consoles. So it seems like we have a lot of retro ones to more previous generation stuff. I'm seeing a lot of PS4s and PS3s. $58 is not bad for a Wii. Okay, $130 for a PS4 isn't that bad. And a lot of games behind me ranging from PS4 on the right. Over here we have some retro cartridges. There's a Kamen Rider game right here. This is a Japanese version of Hey You Pikachu. Right now on the fourth floor, as we enter, we are immediately greeted with a display cabinet filled with tokusatsu items. And behind it, we have a lot of figure arts and some more as we go down. We're gonna see a lot of loose items for the belts and the roleplay items at the top. So many Kamen Rider items for the belts. Now if we take a look at the Lockseed prices, they're actually very cheap. This double memory stick though is a bit more expensive. Now down here appears to be bins filled with the loose belt items. Here's Rose's driver boxed at a really low price, as well as a saber one, and a more full wizard belt set. I guess my biggest advice is if you see a rare item here in Japan, probably buy that right away. But if it's something like a Tokusatsu Kamen Rider belt or a Sentai Robo, you can probably risk trying to find them at other stores to see if there's any better prices. For example, this used at less than $15 is a really great price compared to the new price at Yamashiroya, but that is a newer reissue. Let's take a look at what else they have. This is something that is really funny. I thought it was a knockoff, but it seems like to be an official figure. This seems like a 52 Toys transforming figure. I do believe they reached out to me at one time, but I just never got around to it. So look at this, a Power Rangers movie figure. So now, if you are into Gundam, there is quite a bit of it in this store. These don't seem like kits, these seem like figures and like the Robot Spirits figures. Yeah, it looks like none of these are actually model kits. And further down, just some other types of giant robot figures. Not really entirely sure what this is from, but we do have a lot more over here. Some of these are probably more retro items. Here is Gigatron, aka RID Megatron. This is hard to see, but that is Optimus Primal, and that might be an Alternators figure, I can't tell. But if you look in this area, these are all the pre-built model kits. This looks like the Shogun Zord, that might be a mini plum model kit. And here we have unbuilt model kits. What even is this? That might be really interesting to build. Like I said, a lot of weird model kits. And here's another one that looks really cool. Now we have a lot of Ultraman again, and it seems like some Dynazenon and Gridman at the top. A lot of the rest of these seem to be figure arts, as far as I can tell. It's hard to tell with the glare. This is one thing I kind of regret not getting. It is very silly and a combination of Evangelion, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and Godzilla. And right next to it, we have a lot more Godzilla items. And in this display cabinet, we have some Figmas. They do have quite a lot of them. So this is the Bikini Aqua figure that I've been really wanting, and honestly, I regret not buying it at this store, because I thought I could find it cheaper elsewhere, but I never saw it again. When I go back to Japan, I will find you. But anyways, here's a look at some of the other figures here in the display cabinet. Now coming further down, we'll see a lot of anime figures, which we've pretty much seen in my previous videos at other stores. Some retro games over here to the right. And turning over to this section, we have a lot of Hatsune Miku. And obviously a lot of other figures here as well. So now we're back in the Tokusatsu section. We have a lot of the more, I guess, collector grade items here. Some of these seem like deluxe belts though. Yeah, that's definitely a deluxe belt. Wow, that is expensive. But this particular store seems to be really good for tokusatsu items. And over here we have a lot more Kamen Rider. This whole display cabinet is more Kamen Rider with some CSM items at the top. Oh, but there is a Memorial Edition King Odor sword. Alright, so here's the 5th floor. This actually looks like a very interesting transforming figure. And the rest of the shelf, there's a lot of die-cast model cars. This cabinet filled with Magical Girl and Sailor Moon items. So they do have some Western items here as well. So I found the car model kits, and this one caught my eye. This is absolutely hilarious. I don't know what it's from, but somebody out there would love this. This cabinet, we have some superheroes, and over here there's Star Wars. Like I said, you're not really coming to Japan for this stuff. Various amounts of stuffed plushies. Alright, we got transforming figures that are not Transformers. So far, this particular floor doesn't seem to interest me that much. We can take a quick look at this floor. We have a lot of retro gaming consoles, an actual Famicom right there, a bunch of handheld consoles. I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of these cheaper the further you go outside Tokyo, but if you're you really wanted to pay extra for a Pikachu one, go ahead. Alright, so both stores are pretty great. However, I personally prefer the hard off combo. While everything is used, it's generally well taken care of. And the prices are really good. But Yamashiroya is a good place to stop by for their newer collectible items. Now if you enjoyed this shopping experience, here's a playlist of all my Japan videos so far.